And this week has been especially close. So let's all breathe in together. Good morning and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Reverend Beverley Strutt. I'm the spiritual director here at this beautiful Center for Spiritual Living East Hawaii. It's my honor to be with you all today. And as I look around and I see these magnificent faces, some of the new ones, some of the ones I've known for a long time. We don't use the word old, so those for a long time. And all of you out there online, welcome as well. Your presence is really important to us. And I want you all to know that I look at those numbers. There are a lot of people out there joining us. So let's thank our audiovisual team for what they do to take us out into the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is wonderful. So the best part of waking up is Folgers in my cup. Anybody remember that? The best part of waking up is Folgers in my cup. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's a wonderful commercial we all remember. I think the best part of waking up is actually just waking up. You know, I understand the Folgers part is good, but the opening the eyes, the breathing, I feel like that's the best part for me. And I always looked at that commercial, I was kind of like, okay, I'm asleep in bed, and suddenly I smell coffee in my kitchen downstairs. I'm grabbing a baseball bat. I'm sorry. I'm not wandering down going, ooh, who's in the kitchen? No, there's a baseball bat going down with me. How the hell did you get in? If you're the son, didn't you leave your keys behind when you went to school? You know, let's talk about this commercial. So I found that kind of amusing. It was coming to me because the topic for today is wake up and smell the coffee. So the whole visual of these people running down the stairs, yay, there's coffee. I'm thinking, hell no, there's an intruder. And I hope that he brought pie. So, and also our theme for the month is speaking truth to circumstance. Yes, that's the tricky one. So when we look at wake up and smell the coffee, I don't know if any of you saw the newsletter this last week, but it was a morning that I had where I woke up and reached for this beautifully fresh brewed cup of coffee. I had ice cold cream in the fridge. I could splash it in, take it outside, sit on my lanai, and look at the magnificence around me, breathing in this beautiful air. And what was I reminded of is how fortunate I am, how blessed I am, and how much that I have to be grateful for right here, right now, just in being in the place where I am at. And I was able to sit there and go, oh, yes, this is brilliant. And of course, that lasted about 2 seconds before I drove into how did I get this cup of coffee? And I think you may have heard me speak to this before about what does it take for my life to be easy? What does it take for me to be able to go, and the coffee just comes out? It's fresh in the fridge. There is so much in back of everything that has to happen in this whole world for that to be my truth. For my life to be easy, there is this huge mechanism that is at work. And I'm not even talking about God yet, all right? I'm just talking about the reality of people over in a foreign country picking coconut leaves, hopefully from coffee beans, hopefully from trees, and not, I'm not so sure if I want the ones that have been pooped out of the bird on the ground. But you know what? Whatever it is, they're picking them up, they're gathering them, and then going through all the processes, all of the hands, all of the people, the shipping, it's almost too much to go through every single step. But what I realized is that through that is our interconnectedness. If you want to think that you're self-sufficient, then I hope that you're sitting on a mountaintop in Tibet somewhere with everything you need that is made by you, by hand. Everything is from your own hands. and in that manner, and the fact that you learned it from somebody else. So at any given stage, we are still all connected. There is an interconnectedness of life. There's an interconnected web throughout this whole world that brings us together and makes our life wonderful. And I think that 90% of us here, if not all of us here, can honestly say that we live in a life that is filled with ease and grace and beauty and joy and love, all these wonderful qualities of the divine. And when we recognize and know that it comes not just from ourselves, that it comes from us being at one with each one of us, there's a bliss about that. There's a support system. We've got strength because we're not alone. We're all together in this. And yeah, we lose sight of that fact very quickly. It's very easy for us to get into our own world, to get into our habits of the day, and lose sight of that wonderful idea that we are all one. We don't need anybody. How many times have you said that? Oh, I don't need anybody. I got this. Yeah, until you look back around and you recognize that, yeah, you really don't got this. We got part of it. You got your part of it, but there's other people that are part of it. But we kind of walk, and we've heard people speak about being in the dream, going to sleep, that we're not awake to the wonderment. But it happens for us because we don't stay in this present moment. We're not present. We're either in judgment of the past or in expectation of the future without being present in this moment. So we remove ourselves. We get into this illusion of separation, that we can be completely separate from everybody and we can function just well. But that's not really what we're designed to do. We're designed to be, and if we're not in a tribe here, we are in this big, huge tribe that is the world, that is the universe. So slowly we just lean ourselves into this dream world, into this habitual cycle of our day to day, and we start to become more and more and more separate from the world around us. This is not who we are. This is not what we're supposed to be doing, because we truly are all one in the one as the one. We are all connected through our energy, through what we do, with this collective organism, with this collective beauty, and it's in there that we thrive. So it's that sleep cycle that we can get stuck in, that we're inviting to lift ourselves out of a little bit more today. And we have a little quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, "It is only when we feel in partnership with life that we can hope to live together in peace and harmony." And that truly is what this is about. It's about finding how our connectedness, how we are one, so that the judgments can fall away. The expectations can fall away, that we can be present and that we can be with each other at the best that we can be, our best light, the light of the divine. That song was just, I mean, we don't speak. When we have our beautiful Tiana show up, she comes with her music. We haven't spoken about her songs. That song is even more perfect, and you'll hear as we go through this talk, it was absolutely brilliant. Your spiritual light, the light of the divine in you, shining forth. And this is what we do. Intuitively we know this, and Dr. Holmes continues, intuitively we sense that every person in their native state is some part or manifestation of this eternal principle. This eternal principle. He's speaking about our connectedness with this eternal principle, with this eternal energy that we call God, that we call the one, we call that wholeness. He says, and the entire problem of limitations that we feel, suffering that we endure, and uncertainty is just a result of ignorance. Now, when we say ignorance, I want you to know that the ignorance I speak of is not the general ignorance that we just don't know. I'm speaking about the ignorance that we don't know who we are, who we truly are. We don't know the truth of who we are. Not the knowledge of the world, not the knowledge of this. The ignorance I speak of is that we don't know our magnificence. We don't know our connection. We don't know the truth of our spirituality, of our divinity that is within. We've layered upon layer of all the stuff around us. And we've become an identity. We've become a personality. But we don't know the truth. We are ignorant to the truth of who we are. So there is a wakening up to smell the coffee of who we are. But there's a big awakening up that needs to happen. There is something deep inside of us that is begging to wake up, that is begging to be seen, that is begging to be known. And that is within us. It's called the Christ consciousness. That is the truth of who we are. So let's talk about the Christ consciousness a bit, just so that we can get a feel of where I'm going with this. The Christ consciousness is not associated directly with Jesus. Jesus was one of the best examples of the Christ consciousness, but the Christ consciousness is the divinity of God in you and as you. The word Christ came through originally from the Greek, meaning Messiah, meaning the anointed one. And so the word Christ went along with many different leaders. But once we saw this consciousness expressed so divinely and so magnificently through Jesus, he became known as Jesus Christ, or the Christ Jesus. Because this Christ consciousness, in its essence, is the way that God sees the world through you. Your Christ consciousness, to know it and to reveal it, is to see the world as God sees it. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound just absolutely magnificent? That we could just be that open and that enlightened. And not enlightened like I'm a guru. Enlightened in our openness to be in this moment, to look out into the world and see the world as God sees it. You see, we've always known that the Christ consciousness, spiritually and metaphysically, just means to be enlightened, but it also means to be filled with the power and presence of God. To be open to this incredible creative intelligence and source in all of its wonderment. To be the example. To do exactly what we know is possible for us as these loving, wonderful human beings. To rip open your heart and go, I can be safe and secure in my love. I do not have to be closed up. I do not have to walk this path without knowing that I'm connected to that person right there next to me. Dr. Holmes continues as he says, to practice the presence of God is to awaken to the Christ consciousness within us. Isn't that easy? Isn't that wonderful? And yet we just don't do it. Why don't we do it? Why don't we just see the world in those loving tones? Well, we've been told the world is a very, very, very scary place. Yeah, I am not enough. There is not enough. And the world is a scary place are the three statements that make us shut our heart, make us put an armor over that beautiful light, that divine light that wants to come out and shine so easily. That light that wants to break through. And even as we're talking about it, I can feel the calm. All of you just went, ah. There is joy, there is love, there is peace, there is harmony, there is power, there is wisdom, there is compassion. These are the qualities of the divine that wants to be known in this world as you. So we're speaking truth to circumstance. We don't do that. Yes, we try. Oh, yes, we do. We try. We want to. But how quickly is it that we do this? As opposed to staying open. The hardest thing to do is to let your heart stay open when everything around you looks like you should shut it down. Michael Singer in The Untethered Soul speaks beautifully of that. No matter what is going on, no matter what has happened, keep your heart open. Keep your heart open. Look inside and see what is that consciousness, what is that desire that wants to be known through you. Because you know it's already there, right? We all know it's there. It's all in us. We were born. It's right in there. It came in. It's part of your DNA. It's part of that little thing, that little egg. It's all in there already. But it takes us the willingness and the courage to open our hearts to allow it to shine. But once we do, there's no shutting that egg again. Because what comes from that is a life that is absolutely beautiful. It's a life where you can know your individual identity and be one with the one as the one at the same time. All right, we're going to do a little experiential right here, right now. So I'm going to have you all breathe in. Just relax a little bit. There we go. And what I'd like you to do is bring into your awareness somebody in your life, be it a personal friend, a family member, it could be somebody famous, somebody you don't even know, but bring the person who exemplifies for you what I'm referring to as the Christ consciousness. The person who is living their life showing these magnificent qualities of the divine in all that they do. This person that is love in all that they do, compassion, joy. Bring that person in, somebody you admire who lives this life with the heart open. See them, look at them, smile, for they're now in your presence. And take a breath in to see what is the main quality of this person, or maybe two, that you love the most about them. It could be their grace. It could be their authenticity. It could be just their love. Whatever it is, bring up a couple of these qualities, one or two, that really, really exemplify this person as walking through life in this beautiful way. Yeah, I can see the smiles. That's beautiful. And now I'd like you to take that quality and look into your own heart, because that quality is in you too. And bring into your mind how you walk out the world with that quality. Recognize and know that you are it already. See how you walk the world with that beauty or that grace or that love. Where are you walking it as an example of this wonderful consciousness that is within? And take a deep breath into that place and know the truth of who you are. Know the truth that you are already an anointed one, for this has been given to you as your birthright. Know true that this Christ consciousness in you is coming forward easily and freely, and you get to walk the world in that way. Take a beautiful deep breath into that and slowly come back into this space. Open your eyes and show me the joy that you can feel by knowing the truth of who you really are. Yes, you are magnificent. Each and every one of you is magnificent, for you are the perfect expression of the divine right here, right now, exactly as you are and exactly as you are not. So love that part of you. Open your heart even greater and allow even more of this wonderment to shine forth. More of that light, more of that divinity, more of the love, the joy, the beauty, the compassion, the peace. Why is it important that we do this? Why is it important that individually we do this change? Individually we choose to walk our path in this manner. Yeah, why? The purpose of the Christ in us then is not only for self-realization before the manifestation of the kingdom of heaven is wherever we may be. It is through the realization of the Christ consciousness we become fulfilled individuals, mature and complete. Why is that important? Because as mature individuals and complete, we can stay out of judgment. We don't walk in fear. We walk in confidence. We walk in love. We walk and we see the world as God sees us. Meister Eckhart says, God does not ask anything else except that you let yourself go and let God be God in you. God does not ask anything else except that you let yourself go and let God be God in you. The seed of God is in us, just as the seed of the pear tree grows in, the seed of the pear grows into a pear tree, and the hazel seed grows into a hazel tree. The seed of God grows into God. And if the seed of God is in us, it's up to us to grow that divinity within us. And just as I can do almost nothing without God, so too God accomplishes nothing apart from me. There it is, folks. Just as you can do nothing without God, God does not have an expression without you. So if you don't do it, it will never get done in your way. You are individual. You are magnificent expressions of the divine, and your call is to live your life out loud, to live the greatest life you can, because if you don't go there, if you don't open your heart and share this divine light that is you in action, it'll never get done, because there's nobody else that's going to do it as you, because you are an individualized expression of the divine, perfect in every way already. So you get to do you. That is why you do it, because every time you do you and everybody else does them in this loving way, we grow and expand the love and the divinity that is on this world, in this world, that raises the vibration, that raises the light to the truth of who we are. We get to do that, every single one of us, and we do it magnificently. So in closing, I have a word from Dr. Ernest Holmes. The belief in a life apart from good is a dream from which we must awake, if we are to taste the waters of reality which flow from the source of life. This awakening is a process of evolution, a little here and a little there, until the whole eye is opened and we see that life is neither separate from God nor different from good. Life is God, and the good is the only power there is or can be. To awaken oneself is to be healed, made prosperous, happy, and satisfied, to be made every bit whole, to be complete as we were intended to be. God is the God of the living, not the God of the dead. And so it is. All right. Let's take this to prayer. We're going to wake up and smell the coffee, because it is in the awakening of each day, this new, brand new baby day, that we get to be these wonderful, magnificent expressions. So let's take a breath in and rest in this moment. So I recognize and know that right here, right now, each and every one of us is a magnificent expression of the divine, that there is absolutely nothing else going on here. This is all that there is. Every idea, every action is a motivation of this divine intelligence having its way in, through, and as us. And I know that as we awaken to this whole wonderful idea of the Christ consciousness within us, that we open our hearts and reveal this light from within, that we bless ourselves for a magnificent life, and we bless all of those around us. Knowing that as we walk this path, we never walk it alone. So as our light shines, so it spreads out, touching those around us, lifting everybody else up as we lift ourselves, walking in this world and knowing the truth of who we are. For it is that truth that we're called here to reveal, and I know that it is good. So I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week, that we walk it in grace, that we walk it in light, we walk it in love. We walk it in knowing that we are waking up, smelling the coffee, drinking the coffee, and enjoying this magnificent life of ease that we have right in front of us right now. And I call it good. So I just release this prayer right here, knowing it is done, that Spirit has said yes. Yes, my beloveds, yes. You've set your intentions. You've expressed your desires for this life that you are creating, and it is already done, and done magnificently. I call it so. So claim it with me as we say, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. That was lovely. Thank you.